Robert, when I die, I want you to spread my ashes throughout every Brandy Melville in the world.
Like the store, like the clothing store?
Like the clothing store, like the one size fits most, like the one size clothing store, Brandy Melville.
All right, so just like, let me just think about this logistically. So you're dead. And
I'm dead.
You've been cremated and you have ashes. I'm supposed to evenly...
I also want to be cremated in a pink bikini.
What'll it matter what you're wearing when you're
Well,
cremated?
because I want you to like have one last look at me. I want you to like get me embalmed. Okay, here's my thing. I don't think I want like a funeral because like everyone I know besides you is like low-key fake. And I just like don't want them coming to my funeral and like pretending like they gave a frick about me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Well, I mean, actually, maybe a funeral for my fans. I think maybe my fans would like to attend my funeral.
So you want a bunch of fans, which in your case would largely be preteen girls, to come and teen girls come see you embalmed in a pink bikini before you're incinerated. And then I go on my quest to sprinkle your ashes throughout every Brandy Melville. How many Brandy Melvilles are there? Are there a lot?
There are a ton now because they're a very successful business.
Wow.
So I think there are hundreds, but most of them are like in pretty chic locations, like major cities, not a lot of Midwestern brandies.
Well, that honestly works against me because I'd prefer the Brandy Melville be in a seedy area because I'm trying to do some seedy stuff. I'm trying to spread a dead body essentially on the premises.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like you just bring a cute little clutch full of like, it's all because you have to spread out my ashes, and I'm small, so who even knows how many ashes that I'll be.
But however many they are, I'll have to split it 200 ways to make it to every Brandy Melville. Wait, international Brandy Melvilles?
Yes, of course, international Brandy Melvilles. Some of the best ones are the international
ones. How am I going to get you through
brandy
customs?
That I run to. What do you mean?
How am I going to be able, when you travel internationally, don't they have like increased security? I'm going to transport what? Like little baggies of you?
Yeah, that's not, you're allowed to bring ashes through customs and security.
Are you?
Yeah, there's no, on the TSA, don't bring this list. I don't think I've ever seen ashes.
So Brandy Melvilles, I'm trying to like picture them in my head. A lot of them have like wood floors. So I walk in, I just do a little sprinkle as I walk around.
Yeah.
Isn't that
gross? You walk around, little sprinkle. To who? For who?
I don't know, the other people in the store.
It'll probably get like vacuumed up. It's more the vibe of it. Like,
yeah,
it's
I would say most people would say the vibe of it is pretty disturbing at best.
I like it. I don't know. It just sits right with me. The second that I said it, I knew it was true. That I wanted my ashes to be scattered throughout every Brandy Melville in the world.
I like how you didn't know it was true before you said it, before you gave me this insane quest.
Well, I said it, and then I was like, yes, I would like you to do that. Yeah. I was like, what if my ashes were scattered throughout every Brandy Melville in the world? And I thought, I like that. And then obviously you will be tasked to make it happen.
Yeah, and obviously you get to just say, I like that. And then I'm the one who actually has to execute.
Yeah.
Did you know that Disneyland has a huge problem with people spreading their loved ones' ashes in all the rides?
That makes sense.
Like apparently the Haunted Mansion ride, there's a huge issue with people like going on the Haunted Mansion ride secretly with like their relatives' ashes, spreading their relative out. And then like obviously some college kid working their summer job then has to like vacuum up your grandma.
Yeah.
And I would say that you're basically saying like, I'm sorry, what are you saying?
I'm saying sprinkle my ashes throughout every Brandy Melville in the world. It'll be like such a small amount of ashes per brandy.
So it'll maybe be a couple sprinkles?
Yeah, like not even a couple of sprinkles. I think it'll be like literally like dust. Almost like just a kind of a fairy dust.
But then also like that'll take me years.
No, not if you're efficient. We can map out your route before I die.
I don't want us to be spending our final days together. My final days with you mapping out my route to spread your ashes at Brandy Melville.
Well, I'd like to visit every Brandy Melville in the world before I die. So I'm almost thinking we can plot out where my ashes should be at every Brandy Melville before you have to do it alone.
So it's one thing,
and then you can relive that trip.
So it's one thing to
make your memories.
It's one thing to make your husband go to every Brandy Melville in the world. That in and of itself is quite the boondoggle. You're having me go twice, once hiding a corpse.
Yeah.
And you see nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's just my ashes.
But also, doesn't that bum you out? The idea is like after these Brandy Melville, some janitor comes in at the end of the day and just vacuums everything up anyway. You're not even like in Brandy Melville. It's like it's one thing to spread your ashes in like the ocean because then you are forever part of the ecosystem in the ocean. By sprinkling you in a Brandy Melville, I'm just like stuffing you in a janitor's vacuum a couple hours later.
But a Brandy Melville janitor's vacuum.
Midnight Milkshake.
Well, apparently in Disneyland, when people sprinkle their ashes in like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it's like you're just like endless, like you're just filtered out through like this like dusty sewer. It's like it's gross.
But it's the dusty sewer of Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's something special.
Dude, there is this it's something special.
Something special.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to be cremated in a pink bikini. You can invite all of my internet followers.
Oh, I get to?
Yeah, you got to. You can give a eulogy. If anyone famous wants to speak, they can.
Okay, what about like real people you've known throughout your life?
I don't trust any of those bitches.
So it's just me. I'm the only one allowed to speak at your funeral.
You can speak at my funeral.
My instinct is to not have a funeral, but then it's like I'm just picturing. Here's what I do imagine when I die. All my relatives are not going to find out all at once. They're just all like the last relative of mine who finds out I died. It will be like years later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, did you hear? Wait, where's Robert? It's like, oh, did you hear?
He passed.
He was shot by mall security trying to sprinkle his wife's ashes in a Brandy Melville.
Well, what do you want to happen when you die?
Dude,
what are your death wishes? Here's my thing, though. I am planning to die before you.
Okay. I mean, it's possible, I suppose. But no one knows when we go.
Okay, fine. What do you want me to do if you die before me?
Oh, my God. I mean...
You're not allowed, but
my instinct is to say, I want you to not make a big thing of it. But I guess death inherently is a big thing.
Well, I mean, death is just a part of life.
'Tis true.
Here's my thing. I mean, okay, obviously, like, I would be literally devastated if you died, like, obviously.
Good caveat. Go on.
Yeah, like, whatever. But that's mostly because it's like, I wouldn't,
have anyone to sprinkle your ashes of Brandy Melville.
Right.
Now you're like, fuck, I need to make a really good friend real fast.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like, okay, here's my thing. I'm not afraid of me dying. I'm literally not. Like right now, if like, not that I don't, like, I love my life. Like, to be so clear, like, I'm like, I like to be alive. Like, I think it's fun. But at the same time, like, again, I really do accept, like, hey, when it's time, baby. Like, that's just how it be.
You're not like that guy who's like trying to live forever by injecting like young people's blood.
Definitely not. And again, I always say, like, people who try to live forever, they have the kind of lives that I look at and go, you're not happy now.
Yeah.
Why you? Like, it's always like some 55-year-old rich guy who's like really irritable and ornery and seems like he like doesn't like anything anyway. And he's the one who's doing all of these crazy extreme things to try to prolong his lifespan, and I'm like, why? You're not having a good time right now.
But I think a lot of like middle-aged people in their mid-50s, they're the ones who become obsessed with like prolonging their quote-unquote youth or regaining their youth, because they're like, oh no, I only have like 15 more like good years left, effectively. But then it's like all you're doing by trying to like regain your youth is like ruining the final good years you really have.
You're wasting the rest of your time, your finite time, trying to make your time not finite.
That being said, a lot of people act like when they like hit 70, their life is over and the good times are over. But I know that's not true for me, because why? I love movies and TV.
Yes.
So if you love movies and TV, it's like, bro, prop me up in a chair. You know what I mean?
Or if you like tanning, if you like sitting in the sun.
Yeah, when I'm excited to hit 70 because then I can finally get a good base tan.
Yeah, well, because you won't be worried about dying of skin cancer.
I will say every single time I'm like at a public beach or a public pool, there is always one super old, super tan person there.
Super tan person.
And guess what? They always seem like they're having a great time. So I guess I can't wait to be that person.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't wait to be like a leathery old bag.
Yeah.
Like, sitting poolside.
You're gonna be like a leather purse that's just left out in the sun.
Yeah.
And that's just gonna be you.
I can't freaking wait.
You're gonna have like blasting music.
Yeah.
You're gonna be having a good time.
Speaking of blasting music, I've noticed an uptick recently in inconsiderate gym goers at our gym. Like, it started when this old white guy began using the treadmill next to me like multiple times, and he would incline walk. And I'm not gym shaming anyone. Like, I would never shame anyone for like not being in good shape. And I think everyone has to start somewhere. All of the caveats. I'm a deeply empathetic, compassionate human being, okay? But the guy who chooses to use the treadmill next to me, incline walking, he literally makes just obscene, disgusting noises. Like, and I'm like, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know it's bad because the other day, the treadmill next to me wasn't available, directly next to me wasn't available, and he was at the one next, like one over from me, and the guy in between us was also looking at him like, what the fuck? And I think that he like has some sort of power at this gym, because I noticed him like getting employees of the gym to like do favors and errands for him, like get things from his car. He seems very like, again, I don't know what it is.
Wait,
he's like
a
king
guy
of
at
the
the
gym.
gym was telling employees to get things from his car?
Yeah, I told you. He asked one of the guys who worked there to bring cases of wine from his car into the gym. I told you that. He's like on the treadmill, huffing and puffing. Hey, do you mind, he hands this guy his keys. Do you mind going to my car, there's 2 cases of wine there, bring them in? So he must have some sort of power at the gym.
Normally, I'd say he works at the gym, but I've actually worked at a gym before, and that wasn't a privilege that comes with it. They're not like, hey, so when you work here, you can work out for free when you're not working. Also, you get to, every other employee is your servant when you're off the clock. I noticed today an old lady at the gym was watching a YouTube video on full volume. And it is that, and I was like, again, I was never going to say anything. I would never say anything. Also, it's not a big deal. I do have headphones in, but like, the old lady knows how to work her phone. She knows how to work an elliptical, and she knows how to open YouTube. But she would have us believe that I'm too old to know about headphones.
She's too old to know about headphones.
Old people love to weaponize the fact that they're old to pretend that they're quote unquote helpless in order to get away with shit. Like this old lady was at the gym listening full volume to a YouTube video with no headphones in, counting on the fact that no one would say anything because she was old. Do you know what I mean? And again, old people like want you to treat them like they're baby so they can get away with stuff, and it's like, you've actually been around longer than all of us, and I'm wise to your grift.
Yeah, and but they are wise to the fact that even though you're wise to their grift, you have to pretend like you're not. Like there's some sort of like societal acceptance that like old people act freaking weird, and we're all supposed to be like, well, they're just old.
In fact, every old person should be the most normal.
Yes.
Because they've had the most time.
But I will say, I think it's like, as I get older, what I notice is I do care about what people and strangers think of me less and less and less. And I do think that is just the like climax of that. Like the old man I'm talking about, or like that old lady, I'm like, it's the climax of like, I truly don't give a fuck what anyone here thinks of me. And so I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna go big. I'm gonna go big.
Can I say something to you right now that I'm realizing? I'm realizing in real time that you're a massive, massive hypocrite, and you shouldn't be complaining about this. It's because what do you do every single day? You're on the Stairmaster of the gym.
No, I was thinking about that. Is it karma? So you guys, every day at the gym, I make these videos where I say like a celebrity that I saw at the gym, but it's like fake.
It's like
so
a
I'll
joke.
be like, yeah.
People can go to your social media and check it out.
Yeah, you can see. I'll
every
be like,
single day for years. You've been screaming on the Stairmaster.
well, no, I don't scream. I use the mic in my headphones and I like kind of whisper, yell into them. I'm like, I love going to the gym in LA because I always see celebrities here. Today I saw Jack Skellington, an emphasis on Skellington. He was so freaking skinny. I was so jealous. I threw something at him. Like, that's what I do.
And kind of the nerve of you to do that, and then a guy next to you is breathing kind of heavy.
But I usually make sure there's like an empty Stairmaster next to me. I always am the Stairmaster in the corner. I like try to do it in as few takes as possible.
You're rewriting your own history. I've looked at you and seen you.
I was thinking today, I was like, is this karma because I love going to the gym in LA because I always see celebrities here. Is it karma for that? But today there was also a lady on the treadmill next to me, an old lady, and she was listening to a YouTube video, no headphones. Again, I do think that is such a funny, bizarre thing to do, is to like not use headphones at the gym.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's also like, can you hear it? Yeah, clearly, because I can hear it. But she was listening to a Learn English with Story video on YouTube.
Fair enough.
And I was just like cackling because the reason I had to take out my headphones, because I was like, what is she listening to? It was Learn English with Story, and it's an AI voice describing a woman trying to leave a domestic violence situation.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so it's like literally like, it's a robot voice going, Sally opened the fridge. There was no food in it. Henry came up behind her. Why the hell is there no food, bitch? He screamed. It's because I haven't had any money, she said. You haven't given me any money for 3 weeks now. He's hit her in the face. And it's like, it's Learn English with Story, AI about a domestic violence situation.
Whenever I've taken like a French class or a Spanish class in school, we always started with how to order at the cafe. We were like, hey, how do you say I would like some lemonade? Je voudrais une lemonade, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, the idea with like learning language is that you're learning language that's applicable to scenarios that you'll be in.
Or you're starting simple.
Or you're starting really simple.
You start really basic.
Yeah. But I feel like to learn English only in these terms is like almost setting yourself up for some sort of bad situation.
Or maybe this was kind of a cry for help. Maybe she is in this situation, doesn't have the vocabulary to express it. She's like, I'm going to go to the gym, listen without headphones so that someone nearby will hear and be like, hey, are you okay? Instead of in classic LA, someone hearing you forming a take, dunking on you and saying, I'm going to go record a podcast about this.
Dude, I was on an episode of What Would You Do? And I did nothing.
You did absolutely nothing.
There were hidden cameras. And I was like, literally just like, I was writing in my notes app, lady listening to learn story, Linguish with story.
Dumb idiot. When would you ever need to know about an abusive relationship?
Yeah.
The lady's like, yeah. When would I?
When would I?
When would I?
Anyway, I pray for that lady. Maybe I'll ask her, ask her if she's okay.
Maybe.
If it comes up. But I was saying, like, if you're going to be loud at the gym, like if you're going to be on the phone talking really loudly, this is also something people at the gym do. If you're going to be listening to a video without headphones, you need to make sure that you choose a machine next to someone who has noise canceling headphones. I'm out here with my freaking cheapo AirPod wired. I can hear everything. But if you just find someone who has those Bose on, you're good.
I honestly think now we're splitting hairs so much because like then we can't have a system where it's like we just have to be like no. It has to be like no shoes on airplanes. Dare I say a little bit of a callback? Don't worry, I won't go off on that tangent.
Yeah.
It has to be this thing like no one does it because then you're creating a scenario where it has to be every other person.
Right.
Every other person has to have either noise canceling headphones or no headphones at all.
Yeah.
I think it just generally be considerate.
But
I will tell you, like old people specifically at the gym, they really do act like they own the gym and it's like their rules. They act like they're kind of like the proctor of the gym, so to speak. Because I told you one time I was at a piece of workout equipment and I was looking at my phone. Sorry, sue me. I was looking at my phone and an old man, like I would guess early 60s, but kind of jacked for his age. The worst archetype. Like an old guy who's more jacked than he should be is the most annoying guy on the planet. Anyway, this one time I was at the gym and I'm on a piece of workout equipment and I'm just on my phone. And this old guy comes up and he like kind of taps me playfully as if we're friends. We are not friends. And he goes, hey, looking at your phone, you can do that at home. You know what I mean? You're at the gym, let's be at the gym. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, and then I got up from the workout equipment. And I was like, I just walked like elsewhere because I'm like, fine, if I'm hogging the workout equipment, I'm hogging the workout machine. The old man doesn't even use the machine. He then walks all the way to the other side of the gym and does something there. I'm like, you walked over here just to shame me for being on my phone.
Dude, boomers love to do that though. They love to shame millennials for being on their phone in like situations where I'm like, okay, then entertain me. Like boomers will do anything to get millennials to not pay attention to their phone except for be more interesting than the phone. Okay, I also think about that, like with people telling you to get off your phone. It's like, okay, then get... At some point, like I'm like, the phone has my attention right now because the phone is being interesting. If you want my attention, be interesting like my phone. When Robert's on his phone and I want his attention, you know what I do? I don't say get off your phone. I say something insane. I say something fucking nuts that makes him look up from his phone.
Yeah, I'll be like on my phone watching TikTok and you'll just say like loudly, you'll be like, when I die, I want you to spread my ashes at Brandy, Melville. And I'm like, okay, TikTok, I'll deal with you later.
TikTok, I'll deal with you later. So that's really what I would say to any boomer or Gen Xer who's trying to get a millennial or Gen Z off their phone is in order to get them off their phone, you can't say put down your phone. You just have to simply say something that's more interesting than whatever their phone is saying. Duh.
Obviously.
Also,
old people, again, they love to act like you youngins, you're so obsessed with your phone. And it's like, okay, two things. One, no one is more obsessed with their phone than old people.
Oh, old people are addicted to their phone.
That is pure propaganda. When old people are like, this young generation is obsessed with their phones, that's old person propaganda. The truth is old people are obsessed with their phones. They're never off their phone. They love their phone. It's like a drug to them. They have also because they didn't grow up with screens are like extra amazing to them. And they actually have no practice breaking their attention away from the screen.
That's so real.
So old people are more addicted to technology than young people. That's a hot take. But then second of all, it's like even setting aside the phone thing, it's like every old person used to just like get off work, come home, and they would just like watch I Love Lucy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would watch like Bonanza. Like people used to watch TV constantly. Everyone talks about the Tonight Show. Old people love to be like, well, I remember the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Guess what? Every clip I've seen of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, fucking trash. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining at all.
Well, because it wasn't competing with anything.
Exactly.
Again, entertainment evolves as it has more competition.
Yeah.
And like right now, there's never been more competition. So entertainment has never been better. And obviously, do I believe that? Actually, I don't know. Because like we talk about.
Well, but also I think if there is a decline in the overall quality of entertainment, people have been going outside and doing more real life shit recently. So
yes.
Whatever. But again, that is my favorite thing. Whenever there's like a documentary on like an entertainer from like the olden days, they're always like, this guy, no one was better than this guy. And then it cuts to a black and white clip of this guy. And he's just like, hey, so the other day, a couple fellows went out at the park. I saw them, and they had an umbrella. And I said, umbrella? I'm more like a McManus, right? McManus? You guys know McManus? And the crowd applauds. They know McManus.
Yeah, they know
And
McManus.
they go, all right, we got a great show. We got a great show. First off, we got a quartet, everybody. Quartet banjo players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it used to be so bad, and old people could not tear their eyes off.
Yeah.
And they're going to get on me because I'm like, I have everything in the world on my phone. Well, you know what? That is also the thing, like you said, where it's like, old people will do anything to get you off your phone except for like be more entertaining the phone. Because like you'll be at dinner with like your family and your parents will be like, no phones at the table. Hey, get off your phone. No phones at the table. And then I put my phone down, and then immediately what follows the most awkward silence anyone's ever experienced.
Awkward silence, or like, again, invasive question. You want me to put down my phone so you can what? Tell me that like you don't think I make enough money and like shame me for not being able to buy a house?
Yeah. Dude, also about the buying a house thing, shaming their kids for like not being able to buy a house is one of the great kind of boomer and Gen X like tricks and deceptions they've ever played, because every boomer and Gen X person is always like, you ought to be able to buy a house. Why can't you afford a house? When are you going to be able to buy a house? Almost all of them, or at very least a surprisingly large percentage of them, they were only able to buy a house with help from their parents. I've had so many like boomer or Gen X people will kind of be like, you need to be a homeowner. Oh, well, talk to me when you're a homeowner. And then you do a little bit of digging. You like hear something at like a family party, and it's like, yeah, the down payment of their home was paid for by their parents. And it's
well,
like,
you realize so much of boomer bragging and performing how independent they were at our age is projection and insecurity that like we didn't even get. Like when you're 8 years old and your parents are like going on and on about how like, you know, like I owned my first home by the time I was 23. Like you don't even realize how much of that is like bravado.
Yeah.
And like just, you know, again, performance. Like it's all masking insecurity because they had help doing things that they worried they wouldn't be able to provide for you.
Yes.
Like I think so much again of boomer performing independence is like they're almost like how do you call it? Soft launching that they're not going to help you with your shit.
yes.
Like they're going, I did everything myself, you know. They didn't, but like they know that like maybe they can't help you the way that their parents helped them, so they're trying to soft launch like I did everything myself and you should be able to too. But not even just that, like a lot of boomers and Gen Xers had help from their parents with their down payments, but also that interest rates were like comically low.
Yeah. Well, also, okay, home prices were low.
Home prices
interest
were low,
rates were low.
salaries were higher in proportion to the prices of homes.
Yes. It is like, it was a much easier environment to buy a house in. But that critique has been levied before.
Yes.
One thing is, even in that environment,
Yes.
a lot of our parents' generation, almost none of them were able to just like, yeah, I'll buy it because I'm independent. Happy 22nd birthday to me.
Right, happy 22nd
No,
birthday
more
to me.
often than not, it's like their parents helped them with like a down payment or something.
yeah.
And again, legitimately
No
no shame in
shame.
that.
No.
But there is shame, and I would say a lot of the kind of boomer Gen X shaming of their kids for not being able to buy a home when it's like, you weren't either.
Yes.
You weren't either.
But like we talk about too, it's like homes today suck ass. Like I wouldn't even because of the millennial gray trends, like we talk about.
Yeah.
And it does seem like the second that millennials weren't able to afford homes got too ugly to want to buy anyway.
Exactly.
Like there's kind of a, are you mad at me for you can start over. Just
No,
start
I'm not
over.
mad at you for taking
Just
my
start over. I didn't know I was waiting for you to jump in.
No. Well, you weren't so much waiting for me to jump in.
go
You stole
ahead.
my jump.
No, I didn't try to steal it. Why don't you just
Well,
start
we'll
over?
get the part. No, we're gonna leave this part in. Little thing at home. I announced, hey, the millennial gray trend. It's interesting because like homes started to get ugly just as this generation stopped being able to afford them. That was my take. And you on this podcast, you want to act like you want to act like, oh, this is just a thought I had. Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to act like that. You just weren't saying it. So I was like, okay, well, let's just.
Oh, because I was
get it
going to
out
let you
there.
reach the end of your sentence.
Well, I didn't know what my sentence was.
Well,
that
your
wasn't
sentence
your
was
sentence.
my sentence.
Okay, whatever. Okay,
No.
I stole the wording of that from you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just for that,
yeah.
that's one less Brandy Melville. I'm going to spread your ashes.
You
out.
have to do the whole thing.
No, I don't, because now I have to do one less. And
No,
every
you
time
don't.
you commit an infraction in this life, one less Brandy
Infraction?
Melville. One less Brandy Melville.
I don't want that.
What's like a boy story that you hate? What's like a store for boys? A GameStop. Every time you commit an infraction, I'm gonna sub out one Brandy Melville for a GameStop.
Don't put me in a GameStop. That's so evil. Don't fucking
what?
put me in a GameStop.
What? It's all
That's
the same
eternity.
anyway.
It's not.
It's also a lot of times they're in malls, so it's all going into the same
No. Most Brandy
janitors.
Melvilles are not in malls. First of all, Brandy Melvilles have very specific locations.
I feel
usually
like
in
I've seen
high-end
them all
outdoor
in
malls.
Oh, outdoor what?
Outdoor malls.
That's so
no,
stir.
GameStops are in shitty strip centers. Brandy Melvilles are not anywhere near GameStop.
I think that through girl vision, when you see a Brandy Melville, all around it is just like shiny gold light pointing you toward Brandy Melville. Because I swear to God, I've seen Brandy Melvilles that are like across the way from a GameStop before.
No, Brandy's have never been across from a GameStop.
Yeah.
There is not a Brandy location that is near a GameStop.
That's just patently untrue. You said that with so much
Well,
confidence.
I don't know what we mean by near.
Well, I don't know. Well,
but I don't want to be at GameStop.
Well, then,
please don't put my ashes in GameStop.
Well, we'll see. You know, when you're cremated in your pink bikini, maybe we'll see where the standing. By the way, can't you not be cremated in clothes?
Do they cremate you naked?
I feel like they have to. But
Doesn't that seem undignified?
But then it also seems
that
undignified.
they're sticking you naked in the furnace?
But that also seems undignified. Like, oh, that's a jar of ashes and also an outfit. Like,
but I thought the outfit burned up too.
Well,
maybe it's just be
burns
like
up.
organic material.
But I'm just saying, like, it all
not
burn-
polyester.
There's just something weird about that. This is like 90% my loved one, 10% a thrift haul.
Wait, that's actually so real. Do you get cremated in clothing or no?
Because also, wouldn't certain types of clothing like be hard to
I
cremate?
feel like they probably put you like in a paper gown or something.
I feel like they wouldn't put you in a paper gown.
You think they just like raw you in there?
Well, yeah.
In the oven?
Yeah. What's dignity? They're burning you to smithereens. Like, they're just throwing a naked body in the oven, dude.
To work in that field?
Well, you got to be a real freak.
Well, you have to be born into it. I realize that. Dude, people talk about nepotism in Hollywood. The real nepotism is apparently in the mortuary business. You like can't get in unless you were born into it.
Yeah.
Like, because also I think how do you call it? The like funeral homes and graveyards, they operate like the mafia. Like they have a monopoly.
I also bet you have to have like some sort of special clearance or something in order to do it. Like you have to have some special license.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like mortician licenses. Like I don't think they're just letting anybody deal with a body.
I will say though, that also is kind of like all right, it's hard to get in. I don't know if anyone's really banging on the door to be a mortician.
But if you wanted to, you couldn't, is my point.
Yeah.
I get it. Like it's like everybody wants to be a movie star. Nobody wants to be a mortician. But I would say like the percentage of people who want to and can't because they don't have an in, probably comparable.
I imagine Reese Witherspoon's son desperately wants to be a mortician. He's like, Mom, this was my dream.
Yeah.
She's like, it's not realistic.
It's all about who you know.
You have to be responsible, do the responsible thing, and you have to be the lead of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's like, but I see dead bodies in my dreams. She's like, nope, you're going to be walking the red carpet and getting paid millions.
Yeah. She's like, sorry, honey. That's where our connections are.
That's where our connections are.
You can't get in.
Can't get in.
But yeah, I think like industries like mortuaries, etc., they really are very, how do you call it, closed off.
Well, I read an article about like there's like a whole system of like workers who work in the tunnels beneath cities. Like apparently there's a giant tunnel system like below New York City, and I mean like miles below, if I'm not mistaken, like where they pumping all the water and shit. And like that's all father son business. They all make like $250,000, and it's like all like a family thing. It's like kind of seen as honor. Just the worst job in the world.
And again, you're born into it. That's so crazy. Also imagine being the son of one of those father-son tunnel like duos, and you don't even know how to tell your dad, like, yo, I want to go up.
Yeah, I want to go up.
I want to go up.
I want to go up.
I want to be a street person. I mean, it's very Little Mermaid. I want to be where the people are. Imagine.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, they should do a musical about him.
I mean, maybe.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel. There's an idea for you.
Lynn, get on it.
Mr. Miranda.
Dude, did you see that one of the members of the Hamilton cast released like a pop cover of her own song from Hamilton?
I did see that.
Man, it is a thing. This is the problem with when you really like a Broadway star is like sooner or later they're going to release original pop music.
Yeah, they're going to try to do pop music. Idina Menzel.
Well, all of them. I mean, that's just the one I know because that's the only Broadway star whose name I know in my mind. But there's a ton.
The thing is, it's so funny because you'd think that the skill set would overlap because it's just like singing and dancing. But it's like musical theater. People who are really good at musical theater, like they really, really can't usually make the transition to pop because all of pop is about seeming cool.
Yeah.
And again, the skill set does overlap, but like musical theater is so on the cool spectrum, it is at the polar opposite of pop music.
Here's the thing, though, because there is also a reverse effect. Like, for example, did you know that Pink is hosting the Tony Awards this year?
Fascinating.
And a lot of musical theater aficionados are kind of bothered by that. They don't like the idea of like these pop celebrities coming into their space and kind of making it less cool and making it less about the art. And I both understand their point, and I would push back a little bit and be like, look, that door swings both ways. So I think if the Broadway folk want to be like, no more of your mainstream pop celebrities, I'm like, cool, but that means that all these Broadway musical theater stars have to stop trying to release original pop music.
That's so real. Yeah. If you want to shit on Pink, then you need to freaking not release a pop single.
And by the way, all of these like Tony nominated Broadway actresses who are like, what's Pink doing here? It's like next summer, they're gonna be trying to be Pink. They all try to be Pink and no one notices because no one knows about their albums.
Well, again, it's like that's the whole thing about the way that algorithms and the way that modern media works is if you flop, nobody knows about it.
Yes.
But it's like, again, like you said, it's like, yeah, for every musical theater person that we don't know about trying to have a pop career, they tried to have a pop career.
They all tried to have a pop career.
They all have tried, and we just didn't see it because the algorithm is kind in that way.
And part of me thinks that's maybe what these Broadway people are really mad about. It's like, are you mad because like your award show is being hosted by Zara Larson and that's not fair, and you're a serious theater performer and what is this pop singer doing? Or are you mad because you released a dance album last spring and it didn't move the needle?
And I do think the ultimate like theater kid dream is to method act your way into being a pop star. Like they're all trying to, you know what I mean?
Something
like
that I think has happened 0 times.
Well, I think Sabrina Carpenter did it.
But I guess
she was already
on Broadway.
No, she wasn't.
Like it's slightly different when you go from like even someone like a lot of Disney Channel stars have like have had their go at like releasing pop albums, but like their kind of musicals have all been on TV, so it's not that big a deal.
Ariana Grande was in musicals when she was a kid, and
Broadway?
she transitioned to a mainstream pop career.
Well, Ariana Grande has, by the way, like destroyed the self-esteem, I imagine, of many like a child actor or like theater kid because they all think they can be Ariana Grande.
It's true.
And it's like, I just don't think.
And then she went back to musical theater. So she got her start in musical theater, transitioned to Nickelodeon, became a mainstream pop success.
But then she went back to musical movie, which is slightly different than musical theater.
Yes.
Musical movie is actually kind of its own thing.
Yes.
And musical movie is slightly different. It's why like Zac Efron been in a lot of musical movie. I actually don't even know if he'd be good at musical theater. Nick Jonas tried to do Broadway. People did not like it.
They didn't like it.
But also, again, part of that is like how many Broadway stars have tried to be Nick Jonas? They've all tried to have pop careers like Nick Jonas.
It also seems like there's way more kind of like cutthroat, overt competition in the Broadway space than there is in even Hollywood in terms of like people being like mean and nasty to like your face.
Well, no one's paid that much money and you actually have to show up to work every day. And inherently those two things, like a finite amount of money, kind of an excess of like actual work, their competition's gonna be up.
I'm so glad it was never my dream to be a Broadway star because that really does seem like one of the hardest dreams. And also, again, one of the dreams that even at a top level, there's still going to be people making fucking fun of you.
Yeah.
Like, even at the highest level.
But that's the whole thing with like Broadway, though, in general, where it's like they make fun of everyone else. Like, I actually think that's kind of the cool thing about musical theater is that, yes, everyone outside of musical theater makes fun of musical theater, but then everyone inside of musical theater is like, we're so much better than everyone outside of musical theater.
That's so true. The superiority complex that you get to indulge in when you are part of the musical theater community is unrivaled.
Well, I look at kind of the elitist, condescending attitude of a lot of musical theater Broadway actors, and I look at it as like that's kind of the theater kid low self-esteem evolving to its most powerful state, because the theater kids in high school are all made fun of for being losers, and the most successful versions of those theater kids grow up to actually be on Broadway. And then once you're on Broadway, you kind of wear your elitism like a suit of armor, because in high school you were told you're a loser, you like theater, and then when you become successful on Broadway, you're like, everyone who isn't doing this is a loser.
Yeah, that's so real.
And that's how you get like movie stars embarrassing themselves by trying to be on Broadway. Broadway.
But back to the Hamilton star releasing the pop song. The pop song wasn't just a pop song. It was like a pop version of her hit single from the musical.
Yeah, and there was a lot of unnecessary vocal runs and production that didn't make sense.
And again, I think the visuals were really not it, in my opinion.
We love this actress.
And we love this actress. We love this actress, and we love her work in Hamilton. And we love her work in other things as well.
The Good Wife. She was in The Good Wife. We loved her.
We're big fans of this actress. But yeah, I just don't think it, as Gal Gadot said, transcended. Yeah. In my opinion.
Well, did you see that a lot of touring musical acts and like singers and pop stars have had to cancel their tours?
Yeah.
Like the Pussycat Dolls canceled their tour.
You just said Pussycat.
The Pussycat Dolls. So many tours have been in no more. The Pussycat Dolls.
Me contre.
But yeah, like the Pussycat Dolls. A guy who's trying to sound tough but also loves Nicole Scherzinger. Yeah. Like, hey, I feel like tickets are on sale for the Pussycat Dolls.
Pussycat Dolls. Pussy.
But anyhow, that guy would be disappointed because so many musical acts.
Nicole Scherzinger did Broadway. She played Norma Desmond.
Yeah, I would say that's
Sunset Boulevard.
That's the rare case of it kind of going well.
Yeah.
I would say it's the rare case.
And then people liked it until she prayed or something, and then they were like, she's for Trump.
Well, Russell Brand wore a hat that said, I love Jesus.
Yeah, and then she commented, where can I get one? And then everyone said she's MAGA. Dude, Jesus does not equal MAGA. And you guys saying that Jesus equals MAGA literally just fuels the fire.
You can't be saying Jesus is MAGA.
Jesus is MAGA.
But that's Broadway
I'm wearing a Jesus shirt.
But also, I would say that is probably
real.
This
is from Brandy Melville.
The Jesus shirt?
Yeah.
Dude, Brandy Melville. Here's about Brandy Melville. Brandy Melville has kind of really basic, straightforward clothes. Yeah. But 1 out of every 10 items is you're just like, what? Like Brandy Melville would have like white shirt, off-white tiny shirt, slightly white, even tinier shirt, white tank top, blue jeans, a handkerchief that has the Virgin Mary on it, more blue jeans. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
A shirt that has the entirety of Atlas Shrugged sewn into it.
They're a Christian libertarian brand.
Yeah, which is wild.
I mean, I love it.
They're a Christian libertarian. Well, you better love it. It's where you're going. You're going to Brandy Melville and a couple GameStops.
And I think it will help me ascend to heaven to make sure if I'm sprinkled. And Brandy Melville's not on any GameStops.
In this world where St. Peter is like on the fence about sending you to heaven or hell, and then he's like, wait a minute, where are your ashes though?
St. Peter's robes are Brandy.
That would be hilarious. St. Peter's wearing like a tank top that's way too small.
Yeah.
What I do like about Brandy Melville is even if like St. Peter himself did go to buy something, like the 13-year-old girls working behind the counter would fat shame him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's beautiful about the story.
You're not going to fit in that St. Peter. It's one size for human teenagers.
For human teens.
You're old and fat and a ghost.
But I would say about the Nicole Scherzinger thing, to go back to that, everyone in Broadway got mad at Nicole Scherzinger for supposedly being conservative, for saying she wants a Jesus hat or whatever. But I argue like what they're actually mad at is what we're talking about, which is they don't like that she's a pop star celebrity who gets to then come in and immediately ascend to the top of musical theater. That's the real thing they're upset about.
But you just pinpointed something about cancel culture in general that I think people don't talk about enough, which is that every time a celebrity gets canceled for doing something politically wrong, usually at the underlying root of it is people had already decided that they didn't like this person and they were waiting for them to fuck up so that they could come in with like the, oh my God, like, I can't believe, of course they're conservative. You already didn't like something that they did, but you didn't have yet a moral virtue signal reason to come forward and say you didn't like them. Yeah. And it just reminds me of like when people, I don't know what Lizzo did. It was like after the Lizzo lawsuit, everyone like came out and was like dunking on Lizzo and fat shaming Lizzo. And it's like, okay, you clearly always didn't like Lizzo and you were just waiting for a time where it was like morally righteous for you to be against her.
Yes. And I think a lot of people, even when Nicole Scherzinger was really good in Sunset Boulevard. And so people like through gritted teeth were like, yep, she's good. Yeah. And they were just waiting for something where you could be like, actually, she sucks.
That's so real.
But because I think the real thing was no one wants to acknowledge that like someone outside of the Broadway bubble could come in and just like dominate.
Well, because that's the whole thing. Like the whole thing is that if you're really good at, because the only thing that you're good at is Broadway. Yeah. Nobody who's not good at Broadway could be good at Broadway. Yes. Is the idea.
I guess is the plan.
Right.
And again, I guess Hugh Jackman has done Broadway and people seem to like that. I don't even
But I
know
think they
anymore.
like him because he's not actually that good.
You know what? Maybe that's
Like,
true.
I always think about that where I'm like, I actually think the worst thing that you could be on Broadway is a pop star who's really good at being on Broadway.
Yeah.
And the best thing that you could be is an A-list movie star who's like low-key C at Broadway. And everyone on Broadway knows like, oh, Hugh Jackman, he's not really like good like us, but we'll let him hang
But that's
out.
why Broadway embraces Hugh Jackman and why they embrace people like Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
They love to embrace these like traditional movie stars who come in and are kind of mid at
They
Broadway.
love that.
Because their midness at Broadway shines a spotlight on how talented the like actual Broadway mainstays are.
Also, I think it kind of by transitive property, it tricks them into being like, well, I'm better than Hugh Jackman at Broadway, which means if Hollywood gave me a chance, I would be a bigger movie star than Hugh Jackman.
Yes. And
which
like,
is something they'll never get to see play out either way.
Yeah.
But they love to like have that mental like, okay, well, I'm a better Broadway actor than Daniel Radcliffe. Therefore, if I was Harry Potter, I would have been even better.
But that's
like,
why people especially are mad about, like, again, like they don't like Pink hosting the Tonys.
Yeah.
They didn't like Nicole Scherzinger kind of coming in and like being great on Sunset Boulevard because they actually have tried.
Yeah.
Every main like Broadway actress of the last like 40 years has tried to release like a pop album.
Yeah.
And none of them really worked.
And again, because what you're missing so crucially is the cool factor.
And pop stars kind of have to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what you're thinking, like Pink, Nicole Scherzinger, they're not cool. Yeah, not anymore. They're like in their 50s.
But they were. When they were cool, they were cool.
They were.
They were both like cool girls in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like just like the epitome of cool.
Well, Nicole Scherzinger was so cool that like I'm pretty sure all the other Pussycat dolls were just like cycled through on a nightly basis.
The
Pussycat. She was
Pussy
the
kittens.
cutest Pussycat. Well, I imagine like after every Pussycat Dolls performance, Nicole Scherzinger would kill all the other girls on stage with her, and they'd bring in a new batch the next morning,
Yeah.
knowing no one would notice.
And that's why we don't know any of the other Pussycat
Well, it's like, you know, in the
Yeah.
Prestige where it's like
Yes.
there's beneath the stage, there's all like the dead clones or whatever. It's like that's how a Pussycat Dolls concert would go. There would be a performance. All the other girls, not Nicole Scherzinger, will be dropped to their death, and only Nicole remains, and we just cycle
And we
them
get
through.
new clones up there.
And they had so many
so they
clones.
only have to pay Nicole.
Also, Pink was so funny because Pink's whole thing when she was coming up was like, oh, these other pop girls, they suck.
Yeah.
They're not cool
well,
like
she was
me.
the original. She was the pop star pick me.
She was the pop star
She was the
pick me.
pick me answer to pop stardom.
Yeah. It's also so funny because Pink herself is just like a white girl with blonde hair.
Yeah.
But all of her songs like, I'm not like the other dumb pop stars. And it's just her next to like a white girl with long blonde hair.
You know what's so crazy about Pink though, and I read this on her Wikipedia page, is she actually came up when she was like early teens, like 14, 15, scouted, but she was part of a group. And the record exec basically gave her a decision. He was like, look, if you want to make it big, you got to ditch these Dusties. And she said, I'll ditch the Dusties.
Yeah.
And that's how she became Pink. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But she was working with like two other girls. They were like a pop trio or something.
Yeah.
In like, I think, I don't know, somewhere in the South, Nashville or something.
And they said,
And they said, Pink, are you going to ditch the Dusties?
And Pink said, I'll ditch the Dusties.
said,
And
"I'll
they
ditch the
said, here's a
Dusties."
revolver with 2 bullets.
And then she killed the Dusties.
And then she came back
Yeah.
and she said, I'm going to do So What now? I'm still a rock star.
So what? I'm still a rock
So
star.
what? I'm still a rock star.
I got my rock moves, and I don't need you.
Powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff. Oh, I did want to kind of circle back a little bit too to what we were talking about, where it's like no one can afford a house anymore. Also, all the houses have that same millennial gray aesthetic. So no one even wants the houses that are for sale. It's actually this kind of unstoppable force meets immovable object where it's like no one can afford to buy a house. Also, all the houses are ugly as fuck. But I almost wonder if the reverse of that happened, where it's like no one could afford houses. So they had to make the houses ugly in order to appeal to the type of weirdo who can still afford a house. Because now the only people who can actually afford like $1 million+ house are like influencers who are going to go broke in 2 years, or like the son of a sultan from the Middle East. So that's where you get these aesthetics that are just like overly sleek, overly simplified, pre-furnished. Everything looks like an aircraft hangar, because they're not trying to appeal to like a normal person or a normal family, because like normal people and normal families can't afford houses anymore. So instead, all of their decision making is like, what's the kind of house that a 22-year-old Bryce Hall would want to live in? What's the kind of house that like a sheik's nephew would want to add to his investment portfolio.
Well, we also say it's like just the kind of house that would look good on a Zillow picture.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily the kind of house, like it's like we toured so many houses. We love open houses. We love to go to open houses in LA. But every time you go into these like millennial gray modern homes, what you're really struck by is like even if they look okay in the pictures online, they feel wrong.
Yeah.
They like feel very closed off and like like the energy is blocked.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm like the feng shui seems weird. It just feels weird. But again, if you're just someone who's like looking at it, if you're a Sultan son, you're like just looking at pictures on Zillow and you're like, yeah, this looks nice. But I will say too, we talk about this, houses being prohibitively expensive and that architecture style coming into favor is also the architecture style is a symptom of the cause of the issue, which is that private equity has been buying up single family homes with character and renovating them all in this like terrible modern style because it's the cheapest way to make something that they think looks expensive.
Yeah. Well, also, all the expensive houses look ugly.
Yes.
So now whenever a private equity firm buys a house, they go, we want this to seem expensive, which means we have to make it ugly.
We have to make it ugly.
It is funny because one time we just walked into an open house because it was just like, we just drove by an open house sign and we were like, this will be fun. We'll just walk in. By the way, real estate agents so disappointed when they realized what we were doing.
They're all disappointed when they see us.
They're like, oh, are you looking to buy? And we're like, no, we're just looking around. And in their head,
we're just walking through the neighborhood.
and they're like, well, we can't throw you out because that would really kill the feng shui. But in their head, they're like, that's not what this is for.
They're like, please leave.
But anyhow, like we walked into this.
And I always eat the snacks if they have them. And I always take a bottle of water if it's offered.
Yeah. But anyhow, well, you'll accept a snack. We've talked about this. You'll take a snack from anybody.
I have a really bad habit of accepting food from strangers who I know don't like me.
Yeah.
And that is like one of my dare I say fatal flaws and how I'll probably die is via poison from a treat that is offered to me by again unknown op.
Yeah.
Like I just be taking food from people that again I know don't like me all the time.
Yeah. If you were walk with me here. If you were Superman, Lex Luthor could kill you immediately because Lex Luthor would be like, hey, Superman, you want this green cupcake? And you'd be like, yes, eats it all in one bite, immediately dies.
Yeah.
But anywho, we'll walk into these open houses. Like there's this one house that had been being renovated for years and years and years. We would always drive by it and it had been renovated under this big project from this private equity firm for years and years and years. And then it finally went on the market. And we noticed it like stayed on the market for a long time, wasn't selling. And then one day there was an open house and we figured, let's just walk in. We'll see. We walk into this house that have been renovated for years, and it immediately just the millennial gray hits you like a tidal wave where it's just like that kind of gray wood paneling, those kind of gray white walls. Every feature is like overly sleek. There's no texture, there's no color. And there's like 7 real estate agents standing at the ready because no one's at this open house.
This is a big group project.
And I remember thinking like, oh, none of you know why this house isn't selling. Because to you, you did everything right. It has the right specs. It has the right number of bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. You did renovate it for years. But like, you don't know why it's not selling. I'm like, yeah, it's not selling because this shit sucks.
Because this shit is ass.
And also, yeah, no one can afford a house, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, even people who can afford a house, they don't want this one.
No.
That millennial gray shit's so annoying.
I also think, again, millennial gray is out. I think we're back to wanting that kind of, again, I see so many, and this is my algorithm, and I know algorithms are personalized to what you individually like, but my algorithms are full of Tuscan 2000s homes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that is what the people want.
I think what's out is the millennial gray. And what I think is just based on my algorithm is AI ducks with big tits. So I think I'm walking around and I'm like, hey, you know why this thing's not selling? It's not because it's not an AI duck with big old boobs.
But the real thing that's so sad is Gen Alpha won't even be able to afford these AI ducks with big boobs. They'll be priced out of that.
Yeah. And then you realize our parents, they only got all their AI ducks with big boobs because their parents
help them with down payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there is something so funny though when people complain about never being able to own a house. It's almost like a forest for trees situation because it's like never be able to own a house. Yeah, you're never going to be able to own anything.
Yeah.
Like you can't own a movie anymore.
No.
Like no one people used to have like movie collections gone.
Yeah.
You don't own a house. You don't own a car. Everything's leased.
We own nothing.
Also, even people who do own houses kind of know they don't because a mortgage is just like you're borrowing the house from the bank.
It's so true.
No one owns anything.
No.
Well, there is always that thing. My dream always used to be, oh, I can't wait to get rich so I can like own a big house. But then you realize the rich people who own a big house, they don't even own it. They just have like a big mortgage that they qualified for. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like everyone kind of owes money to someone. Like no one just fully owns something except for like those freaks who like live in like off the grid shacks in the Appalachian Mountains, and what they own, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, what they own, nobody wants anyway. But again, they still don't really own it because at the end of the day, like the bank can still foreclose on their
or like a slight breeze
Appalachia
could
farm.
blow it away.
Right, totally. And then on that note, I think we're ready to wrap up.
I think we are. I think we're ready to. And what have we touched on? We've touched on where I'm going to spread Dana's ashes when she dies, and how none of us will own anything ever, and how Broadway actors need to kind of get over it a little bit.
And how if you want to break into the mortuary business, you better have freaking connections.
Yeah. Look at your dad. Look at your mom. Are they morticians? No, they're just Reese Witherspoon. Sorry, you got a star in the morning show spinoff.
Sorry.
The afternoon show.
Thanks, milkshakes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.